Hello, 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 everyone. It's me, Brandon Marianne Lee, and I'm here with the one, the only, Mr. Howard Bender. Hello, my friend. How are you today?
Hello. It was great having you being on your show last night, by the way. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it was a delight. So much fun. And you are just always like punch in the arm to the show. It's really good. Other than the fact that Courtney, hates you. So
Well, that's okay. Listen, I hate Courtney just as much. Like if I had to rank you ladies, it would be you, and then Ashley, then 50 feet of crap, then 20 more feet of crap, then Courtney. How about that?
wow, I love it. Well, as you guys all know, you can tune into Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio anytime, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. to hear Howard. He also has the after show. He does this late night show on Sundays, and then her fantasy football I do with my sisters on Saturday nights from 9 to 11 Eastern. So we are ready. We are ready to take your fantasy football questions. I know that a lot of you are starting your playoffs, most of you, but some of you, and I'm in a league like this, we still have one more week left. So you guys just get it all out there. And even if you're in a consolation bracket, I hope you are participating. I don't think that you should go out there and steal the best people off of waiver wire necessarily, but I definitely don't think you should be in last place. How do you feel about this, Howard? I'm all about I'm not in last place.
I think if you're playing in the consolation ladder, you should let waivers play, and then after waivers process, then go ahead, then pick it off. Let the people who have made it to the actual playoffs, let them play.
Yeah.
Don't be a douche.
Don't be a douche, but also don't stop playing, because that's also douchey. People are like, I'm out, and you're like, this isn't fair because now someone that really stinks that should have been at the bottom isn't. So anyway, there you go. We are going to real quick touch on some subjects. We're already getting questions right now. We are live on Periscope/Twitter. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, and we are live at fantasyalarm.com. Also, you guys, there is this amazing tool, the Playbook Pro, that you need to go and get right here on Fantasy Alarm, and you can get a month for free if you enter the promo code below. It is week 14. It's in green. You got to just check it out down there. Use that promo code, get in on it, because we can help you with your NBA DFS, your NFL DFS, which goes through a large portion of the playoffs, you guys. And also baseball season. Howard, it's like here. What happened?
It's like sneaking up on me here. I'm already working with Jim Bowden, and I are already working on the MLB draft guide. That's going to be coming out mid-December, which is like right around the corner here. Throwing down some sleepers, some busts, some rookies. It's going to be a great time. Also, NHL DFS. Don't want to leave that out.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, of course not.
These guys are
they're
crushing it right now. Absolutely crushing it. So yeah, if you guys aren't dealing with NHL and NBA DFS, you're missing out, because our team is cashing regularly. It is unbelievable. And the GPP pots in NHL, I know they're not like huge money for everybody. They're winning. I'm not going to thumb my nose at $2,000 for a $5 entry.
Oh no, I will always take $2,000. Like, give it to me. So I'm with you 100%. But what we're going to do first is we are going to go through just some of the top stories, because there are big stories happening as we speak, and we want to make sure that we give you the basis of what we're going to be talking about, and then we're just going to jam through your questions. So keep them going. We have them all right here. I promise we're going to get to you, but I want to make sure that you also have like a good landscape of what the day is going to look like, because frankly, this is one of the worst days I've seen on paper since I started as a fantasy analyst. Like, everybody that's good is in a bad matchup, and everyone that's bad is in a good matchup, and we have to decide how we feel about that. So I'm just going to start real quick here with the Colts-Bills game. It sounds like it's going to be Nathan Peterman. I think this makes the Colts delicious, though. Am I overreacting here? There is going to be wind. It's not great weather. It's not heinous weather, but it is Nathan Peterman. Regardless, it doesn't matter. In Los Angeles, he doesn't look good. So how do we feel about them today?
If you want to use them as like a deep dive GPP play, that's fine. But, you guys got to remember this. A shitty defense is still a shitty defense. Their secondary is bad. And, well, yeah, it's Peterman throwing the ball. He's going to be throwing it. He's got Charles Clay. Kelvin Benjamin is coming back. It's not great, but it's okay. And the fact is that they're going to try and run with McCoy as hard as they possibly can. I know Mike Tolbert's back. They're going to try and, bully those goal line carries there. So yeah, I think you can get away with using the Colts, but I'm not living and dying by it. We've seen this too many times where it's like people start overreacting to an injury or a great matchup, and they forget about the fact that this defense has just been a sieve the entire time.
Well, I agree with you. I'm not into their defense, but I will say, and I put this in my contrarian video over at fantasyalarm.com, I'm actually into T.Y. Hilton as a contrarian pick. The guy is one of only 3 wide receivers who scored a touchdown on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to have great field position. That's the one thing I would say about this game. I think there's a possibility that he kind of gets a little one in the end zone, and I think he might be able to set people apart, and I'm not quite sure I'm benching him in my season-long leagues anymore, where I was kind of scared, like, what's going to happen? This is going to be horrible. They're in cold weather. I think that's true, but I just think that if you're going to be on the 15-yard line, at a certain point, you're going to get in the end zone, because I mean that's what happens with Nathan Peterman. Am I crazy, or is this just GPP? Are you still benching him in season longs?
I'm still benching in season longs. I mean, again, it is
TY.
Peterman. No, I'm not out on TY. I mean, it always depends on who the other person is.
Of course.
Like, I mean, do we want to go through like some rankings and say whether or not we would go with him or not go with him? I'm going to go to the weekly rankings right now from Brett Talley. Those come out. I'll go to the wide receivers here because I think that TY is a GPP play in DFS, and you might as well do it. But like, am I going to use him? Here we go. Am I going to use him over Marquise Goodwin? On the fence, maybe not. But am I going to use him over Doug Baldwin? Yeah, probably. I don't like Baldwin's matchup going up against the Jags. Oh, listen, this Jags secondary, I don't want to sit here and undersell it at all. And I think that this is definitely going to be a problem for them, especially with Jalen Ramsey in. Devin Funchess, though, he's getting the Xavier Rhodes treatment. He's on the bench. Robbie Anderson, when you're talking about Aqib Talib and the hamstring in Denver with the altitude, I'm probably going to go with TY over there just, for the upside play.
Would you go with TY over Golden Tate?
What's Stafford's deal? Like, if Stafford is good to go in pregame warmups and he's fine and he's not pissing and moaning about the grip, then yeah, I would go Tate over TY.
I mean, they're saying that Stafford's throwing has improved each day, but like, how bad was it, and what does that mean? I'm a little concerned. I think for me, I'd go TY over Golden Tate with the hand injury for Stafford. But this is where I'm talking. But that's a lot of normal starters that we're still putting Hilton in over. So I think we're going to get a lot of Hilton questions today. And I'm just saying, I don't think it's as dire now that we know Nathan Peterman's there, just based on field position. I mean, that's what's changing for me in my eyes. And that's why I put him in as a contrarian pick earlier this week, where I was like, listen, if Tyrod Taylor's not there to run the ball,
right,
Buffalo's screwed. They're just screwed. So great. Well, we're going to talk more about more stories as we go in, but let's get into some of these questions. We got Perine or Goodwin in the flex PPR.
I actually like Perine here. He's going to get the touches. I know that everybody's afraid of the game flow situation, but I mean, Phillip Rivers is definitely, and we talked about this last night, actually. Phillip Rivers is definitely known to throw those interceptions, guys. Bashaud Breeland, Josh Norman, and Kyle Fuller. Good, solid corners there, covering all bases. So, I don't think that the Chargers really run away with this game here. And I think it stays competitive, so I'm going to go with Perine, who gets all those touches. Screw Byron Marshall. Screw him.
Screw him. I agree. I'm going to say this. I have a question here, and wondering if you know what this is. Doc or AGHS?
Doc
PPR.
or AGHS?
Is that Doxson or Aguilar, maybe? I don't know, Ron, here.
Sounds like it.
If that's the question, then I'll ask that. What do you think?
Well, Aguilar for me.
Yeah, me too. I think they're going to have to figure out a way to get him involved, because I think that Alshon's going to be the one that they just lock down. Tennessee D has double digits in the last 2 games. Tennessee, Carolina, Dallas, or New York Jets defense?
Tennessee, Carolina, or the Jets? I really want to go with the Jets against Trevor Siemian. Right? How do you not? I mean, the ground game sucks. CJ Anderson is terrible. Trevor Siemian is like picks galore. I'm going to go with the Jets as the upside play here.
I am too. Good morning, Ben Lee. We got our Brangelina treatment here. From
I like it.
Ben Lee, I love it. Carr, Winston, or Stafford, pick one.
I'm going with Carr. I love this matchup against the Chiefs. I know he's going to have to air it out. Marshawn Lynch is going to have a good time establishing the run early here. I don't even care that he's getting Cooper back. I like the fact that probably Cooper's going to play because that's just going to draw coverage away. And I love Crabtree, and I love Seth Roberts in this one here.
Yeah. What's up, you guys? I'm liking Winston and Fuller as cheap DFS plays. How about you? I don't like Fuller, but I'm okay with Winston and DFS. It's obviously a dart throw. My problem with Fuller is he just has no chemistry with Tom Savage whatsoever. And the only person who seems to be able to make it work with him is there's two people. There's obviously DeAndre Hopkins because he's just, from another world. And then there's Steven Anderson, who's getting like 10 targets a game. I don't think they're going to stop that. I think that, I don't know. I don't love Fuller. I think you can find another cheap wide receiver. Why not Trent Taylor? I don't know.
Why
Am
not?
I crazy?
No, I mean, I don't mind Trent Taylor.
A little chalky, right?
No, I don't think Trent Taylor's chalky at all, actually.
Really? Good.
I think everybody's so on Goodwin right now that I think that they're not looking at Taylor too much. I actually put him in the GPP dartboard this week. Because I do like that upside. I mean, what is it? 6 targets a game the last 2 games coming out of the slot here against Houston. Houston secondary.
Mini news break here. It looks like Sterling Shepard is highly questionable, maybe not playing. Eli Manning is back. He's at home. Some people talk about him maybe coming back, trying to sling it around to try to prove himself. I don't know about that. Although I think if you're playing in a GPP, he's an interesting play. Do you have any thoughts on this Cowboys-Giants game other than we love Alfred Morris?
I like Alfred Morris. I like Dak Prescott. I like Dez Bryant in this one here as well. I think that the offensive line is healthy and it's looking really good. Dak's going to get the protection that he needs to be able to find Dez downfield. I think he'll find Witten in the end zone for a shorty touchdown. I think Morris will carve it up. You gotta go with Evan Engram here. Dallas is weak against the tight end, and he's like Eli's best option. But other than that, I'm not in on any other Giants here, especially with Sean Lee supposedly coming back for Dallas. I don't really know if the ground game is going to get going. I think Orleans Darkwa got some bad clams or something like that the other day.
Yeah. I don't know what the heck's going on there. I agree. I think the Giants side of this is just sad. Again, if you want to make some sort of dart throw, obviously you're not super scared of the Cowboys defense, but I don't know about that. We talked a little bit about Matthew Stafford's hand. We don't have specific reports about it. We've just only heard that it's improved little by little. The Detroit Lions are traditionally very protective of the injury reports. We don't usually get a lot of info. It looks like Amir Abdullah is out, and they're going to try to supposedly mix it up. I don't even know who they're going to mix it up with. I don't know what that means. So I can't tell
Green,
you.
Baby, Tion Green.
I know some people like Tion Green. I
hate him.
Like him. Oh my god, I know. But I think that's important to say out loud. I think this is going to be a weird game. I don't like this game because I don't like either offenses. I don't like either defenses, and they're all beat up. So we like Cameron Brate again because obviously he's Winston's best friend in the end zone, so you can't argue with that. Always has a chance to score touchdowns, and this is a good matchup for him. Are you going the big question here is a lot of people have questions about Doug Martin and Peyton Barber. What are your thoughts about what Tampa Bay is going to do? Because listen, Doug Martin wasn't getting it done, and he's back, but do we care? Do they care?
I do think they care. Last year they signed Doug Martin to a $35.75 million contract extension. Okay, they've got 35 million reasons to throw Doug Martin out there. Now, maybe he shares the workload with Peyton Barber. That's fine. Okay, you give it a 50-50 split. But the bottom line is that they're not going to. I got into this with somebody on Twitter. He was like, don't talk about the money. I'm like, don't talk about the money? What do you mean don't talk about the money?
Yeah.
These players aren't being paid to sit on the friggin' bench. He was like, well, Eli, made millions sitting on the bench last week. I said, Eli sat on the bench last week to make a friggin' point and to get Ben McAdoo out of the Giants organization. I was like, that had nothing to do with money. That was all a personnel thing. This is money. And that's bottom line. I don't care what Barber's done. They given Doug Martin some just beastly ugly money for this.
Now, here's a question. Packers or Bills defense? And I'm going to be honest with you, I actually don't love either of them this week. But I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I'm going to say the Packers because, I mean, let's face facts. Kaiser with the interceptions. Cleveland actually leads the league in giveaways right now. I think it's like 28 on the season.
Oh, yeah.
So I think just strictly for the upside there, like it could be a messy game with the snow up in Buffalo. It's supposed to snow throughout that game, but I'll take the upside of the Browns browning as opposed to,
always.
Anything else.
Yeah, always. I had this also in my Q&A Saturday. Someone was asking about the Bengals versus the Green Bay Packers, and I went with the Packers as well because the Bengals, their whole defense is now out for the season, basically, or out with a concussion. It's unbelievable. I mean, look at the Bengals. I think no one's talking enough about that, by the way. The Cincinnati Bengals, that horror show that we're going to call Cincinnati versus versus Pittsburgh last week, disastrous for their defense. Disastrous. So I'm going Green Bay against Cincinnati as well, just again, because even if I think Kaiser's going to score a lot of points or whatever, I do think they're also going to turn over the ball. It's just, the Browns are going to brown. It's just always. Same old, Cook or Clay fighting still in the playoffs. Way to go, New York Jet girl. Cook or Clay? This is intriguing. I think you got to go with Cook here because Nathan Peterman, period, right?
I'm kind of leaning Clay. I know that the Colts struggle against the tight end in coverage. And let's face it, I mean, if it's crappy weather, they still have to pass the ball. I think, short passes to Clay could end up being his bread and butter in this game. I really do. So... I mean, again, Jared Cook has just been kind of a hot mess. And then you look at Kansas City with them, as far as covering the tight end. They're actually a really good team at covering the tight end. Their linebackers do a lot. They get some nice support from the safeties.
All right, you're the tight end whisperer. I'm all in with you. I'm just more afraid of Nathan Peterman than maybe I should be. Maybe he's, Oh, Croft available. Well, I don't know.
No.
It's
terrible
a matchup there too. Yeah.
Yeah, terrible matchup. Good against that. And he's good for, when it's a good matchup, he's good for a touchdown and 6 yards. Like, that's right. It.
And guys, it's okay if we say a tight end's touchdown dependent. They all are, unless they're the elite few. So, don't get up in our craw and be like, well, touchdown dependent. Yeah, we know that, but they're a tight end. That's the whole jam. But their only touchdown upside is if they're in a good matchup. So that's why we say these things. So Baldwin, Jamal Williams, or Gio in a 0.5 PPR.
Baldwin, Jamal Williams, or Gio. I gotta go Gio with the volume here. I mean, I don't love the matchup against the Bears defense, and I know that Gio's never held the job on his own before, but they're gonna use him. They're gonna make it happen, and again, we don't know exactly how much work Aaron Jones is gonna get. I think Jamal Williams has done more than enough to warrant the majority of the touches there, but I mean, this is Mike McCarthy, and the big question is if the Packers lose this game to the Browns, not only is it the most embarrassing loss in the world, but if they win, do they have a shot at the playoffs? And that brings Aaron Rodgers back. So I think McCarthy just kind of runs the hot hand as much as he possibly can here.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I would go with Gio as well in terms of just safety at this point. Agreed. 1 point PPR, Marshawn, Gio, Jamal Williams, Jerick McKinnon, Latavius Murray. Only one.
Wow. I'm going to go Marshawn here. I think the Raiders need to establish the run early. Excuse me. Kansas City run defense gives up a ton of yards there.
They give it up in the air too, and now they don't have Marcus Peters. I mean, really. And by the way, and Derek Carr is still mediocre. It's amazing. I mean, we're going to tell you to start him because he's in such a good matchup, but man, this should be a no-brainer. But it's Derek Carr, so whatever. But I agree with you. I think Marshawn Lynch here, although I feel uncomfortable sitting Latavius Murray in any matchup anymore. I'm surprised he's not in your lineup as well with Marshawn Lynch, because to me, those two stick out like a sore thumb to me. All right. So speaking of that Raiders Kansas City game, we're kind of all in and starting everybody, right? Except for maybe, sadly, Kareem Hunt, right?
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on who you have, whether or not you're going to go back to Hunt. There are a couple of leagues where I am going back to him just because
it's not
ride or die.
Yeah, ride or die. At this point, if you've been riding him anyway, I want him. I thought that the play calling change would make a huge difference, and it did. And I was actually all in on Alex Smith last week. I said, this is his bounce back game. He's going to get that chip back on his shoulder. That's actually what happened. The only person who didn't benefit was Kareem Hunt, and that blew my mind. It makes no sense. And then they lost the game. I mean, I just was like, control the clock, control the clock. So we can't make up for coaching, you guys. This is a coaching issue, and they just still haven't gotten it together. But I do like everybody there. And the Raiders, yeah, I mean, it's just too good of a matchup to ignore them, even though, frankly, they're not very good. I think Michael Crabtree may be one of the best plays of the week, though. I think he could be the top wide receiver.
There's my girl. You know it.
Yeah, I think he's the one. One more matchup here. We got the 49ers versus the Texans. I think this is really fun because it's the bad versus the bad, and I want to start everybody. And I know that's weird, but like, throw them in. I love Lamar Miller. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. I love all his little wide receivers. You do you. Maybe even throwing a little George Kittle for a touchdown. I mean, what is going on here? Is this like... We're in the apocalypse, by the way. But what do you think about this matchup?
I do like Jimmy Grapes in this matchup a lot. I do. I think that, what we saw with Marquise Goodwin is real. I think that he utilized both tight ends. He utilized both Selleck and Kittle, which I definitely liked. And Selleck had the touchdown the last game, but Kittle actually almost had one too. He was just, half out of bounds when, he was trying to make this catch in the end zone here. So I do like Kittle for the upside play here of, a touchdown and no yardage here, like the Tyler Kroft work. And then, Trent Taylor, he's got some upside here. Carlos Hyde. I mean, listen, this Houston run defense has gotten weaker and weaker and weaker. And then on the other side, you're right. Hopkins, Steven Anderson, Lamar Miller, these guys are all in play today. Neither one of these defenses are any good.
Yeah, I love this. And it's
I like
one
that.
of the only...
Can I do that too?
Yeah. It's one of the only games where they're in decent weather / a dome. I mean, it's just like, I'm fine with it. Just do whatever. You do you. All right, I'm going to go over to Facebook here. We have a ton of questions, so we're going to try to bam, bam, bam. All right, here we go. GM. All right, PPR League. We got pick 2 running backs. Kareem Hunt, Lamar Miller, P. Ryan, or Jamal Williams. Thanks and have a good day. Well, thank you, Joe. That's a great set of running backs.
Yeah, it really is, right? I'm going to go P. Ryan and Lamar Miller actually here. This is one of those situations where you've got better options than to chance it with Hunt, so might as well use them.
Good morning. Good morning, Mike. We got Robbie Anderson or Sammy Watkins, half-point PPR.
Ooh, you know what? I'm going Sammy here. I love Robbie Anderson. Everybody knows I love Robbie Anderson. But, it's Aqib Talib. It's a hamstring issue. It's going to be cold, high altitude. You've got a whole bunch of things kind of working against Robbie Anderson here. Might as well go Sammy. The Rams are going to have to air this out. They're going to have to make a move.
They are going to have to make a move. I will say that for 5 weeks in a row, quarterbacks have thrown multiple touchdowns against the Broncos, more than one. And I think one of those will go to Robbie Anderson. I don't think he's going to have the big yardage week. But I think he'll catch one. But Sammy, though, has the potential of having an 80-yard run that goes into the end zone. I think it's going to be a chip shot with Robbie. So I think this is very close, though, which is weird. So I think that both of them are decent plays, but I like Sammy for the upside there. Sit one in a PPR. Gio, Jamal Williams, Alfred the Butler. I get it. And then Drake.
Sitting one?
Sitting one.
I'm sitting the Drake here. Like, I know he gets the volume. This is the second time in 3 weeks that the Patriots and the Dolphins have played each other. Drake had a really nice game 2 weeks ago against them. What does Belichick do, everybody? Belichick takes away the 2 best offensive weapons from the opposition. So it has me a little worried about Jarvis Landry here, but it definitely has me worried about the Drake, so I'm sitting him.
You know who I'm not worried about?
Who?
My boyfriend, Kenny Stills.
You love Kenny Stills. I'm telling Adam
more
Thielen
fantasy points than Mike Evans this year.
I am telling Adam Thielen.
Okay, Adam. Well, right. Adam, yeah. Well, he knows I'm cheating on him. It's fine. All right. PPR is it's a full point PPR, but a 0.25 point per rush. Need one, Ajayi or Adams.
Oh. See, now here's the question about the weather in Cleveland. This is what everybody wants to know because I love this matchup for Adams. Adams has he's in a great situation here, and I kind of feel like Hundley and Kaiser are shitty enough quarterbacks to just spend the entire day slinging the rock as much as they possibly can.
So guys, I think it's 7 games in a row now on away where Adams has a touchdown, including into last season.
I have to do it. I have to. I mean, I don't love it because of the win, but I think he makes it happen this week.
I do too. Need one for my quarterback too. Stafford, Dak, or Garoppolo?
Gotta go Dak. I don't understand. Remember when Dak in the beginning of the season was like your ultimate chalk play for cash games? He's got a high floor. I think he throws 2 touchdowns, one to Dez and one to Witten. I think he runs one in. And I think Morris runs one in too. I think it's possible even that Morris gets a second touchdown here, but I think they roll over this Giants team in a big way. And I think Dak is going to be a huge part of it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I understand that people are very excited about Garoppolo. And I know that people are really excited about Stafford in this matchup if his hand wasn't falling off. But you guys, his hand's falling off. So no, I agree with you. Dak or Keenum. Now that's intriguing. And then need one. Goodwin's. Let's just start with Dak or Keenum first. So we got, I think you go Dak. But Keenum, his floor seems to be 17 fantasy points lately, like in the last month and a half. And I know it's the Panthers, but he just has the best weapons in the National Football League. Literally, you guys, Rudolph, Diggs, Thielen, Latavius Murray, Jerick McKinnon, they can all wreak havoc on you. So I'm intrigued by this. I'm saying it Dak for safety, but man, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Keenum. How do you feel?
Well, I'm a little concerned that Mike Zimmer didn't tell Keenum that his job is on the line this entire week. So maybe Keenum doesn't have that kind of incentive that he's like, oh, now I'm so comfortable. Mike Zimmer didn't open up his stupid ass mouth. No, listen, I
well,
think
they did announce that he was the starter again. They just did it quicker. I mean, but the fact I laughed. I actually made a tweet about it. I tweeted about it. I was on Tuesday. I was like, I'm starting my research. Anyone know if Keenum's been decided on yet?
But I think Keenum does have a really nice floor also. I think Dak's got better potential for a bigger game just because the defense is softer. I think he's got more potential to run one in himself than Keenum does going up against Carolina's run D.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Now, here's another one. Goodwin, Sanders, Cup, or Crowell in the flex in standard?
Goodwin, Sanders, Cup, or Crowell? I'm going with Goodwin here. I think that it's just Garoppolo's got a nice rapport with him. And I think that, he's his big play threat. We also saw some short passing to him also, so I'm not against that at all. I like it. I like it.
We got a Croft or Brait question. We're definitely going Brait out of there. Again, bad matchup for Croft. Is Garoppolo okay for DraftKings cash? Yeah, I mean, if you're getting super studs in his place, he.
Yeah, if you're
again, I love this game.
Because you can use Garoppolo. You can get Garoppolo in there as your quarterback, but you just have to make sure that you're you got to get Hopkins and AJ Green in there as well, and then at least one good strong running back like a Melvin Gordon. You can piece it together. I mean, this is one of those weeks where I love going with the 2 tight end set here. And you look at the prices on DraftKings. Cameron Brate and Austin Seferian-Jenkins, or Cameron Brate and Steven Anderson is just a really nice tight end and a flex play there. Or you go with Gio as, a super cheap $3,100 second running back, and then you can probably get Cameron Brate and Evan Engram into the mix there.
And there's no one else in New York. There's no one else. That's just
nobody.
Need 2. Anderson, Crowder, or Hogan non-PPR? Hogan and Anderson, right? You can't trust Crowder after what he did last week.
I can't trust Crowder, and I love Hogan this week. I do. I think Hogan is the reason why I'm kind of pivoting away from even Rex Burkhead as a running back, because I think all these red zone touches that Burkhead's seen in these last 2 weeks, I think those are going to just pivot right back over to Hogan. Tommy Blue Eyes super happy that he's getting him back.
Yeah, yeah. I hope he. My only problem is that it's on Monday, and I would hate to see him have a setback because he's just been out for so long. But yeah,
Yeah, but
I
you've
agree with you.
got so many other guys that you can probably pivot to then if he doesn't play. Like Stills
Oh,
is there,
for
and you can
sure.
probably use him. I mean, even I'll bet you Devontae Parker's available on your waiver wire right now.
Yeah, well, he should be. Boo. You guys, if Kenny Stills is out there, I just want to say this again. Kenny Stills has more fantasy points than Mike Evans. If he's available in your league, I don't even care if you play him this week. He needs to be owned. Get it together. Okay, PPR league with Ertz, doubtful. I think Ertz is officially out, actually. Do I pick up Brait, Trey Burton, or Steven Anderson? Let me talk about this Burton thing. Let's actually talk about this Philadelphia Rams game first, and then we're going to get to this question, you guys, because this is really important. Howard and I are both under the impression, and we could be totally wrong, but it seems like the entire industry and Vegas thinks that this is going to be a shootout, which is weird to us because these are two very good defenses. So we're having a difficult time kind of getting on board with this being like a 50 plus point, spread or over under, and everything's like yay. So I'm actually going to stop everybody with this Trey Burton talk because they also have Selleck there. I'm not quite sure I love pivoting to Trey Burton under almost any circumstance at this point. In this particular question, I think Brait and Anderson are both better options by a long shot. I think people are getting way too excited and way too confident about Trey Burton, and specifically in this matchup against the Rams, who barely give up any points to the tight end anyway. So I want to say that first. The only great news is that the Eagles running backs have a great matchup. The only bad news is we don't know who that person's going to be. So you could do a dart throw, though, especially in DFS on them. And with the Rams, they're going to have to air it out because the worst matchup is for Todd Gurley. Now, Todd Gurley's still the best player. I don't think he's going to get 0 points. But they're going to have to use Sammy Watkins. They're going to have to maybe do a crazy Tyler Higbee or Gerald Everett thing. I mean, they're going to have to kind of get creative here. They are the home team. Howard, do you have any specific thoughts about this matchup before we move forward? Because I think we agree that both Anderson and Brait are much better than Trey Burton, right?
Anderson and Brait are much better than Trey Burton. And listen, you hit it right there. It's not a great matchup against the tight end or for the tight end for the Eagles. And I know that Burton has stepped up at times when the matchups have been much more favorable here. Again, it's one of those situations where people don't seem to understand. Just because a guy is out doesn't mean next man up is the right guy to go with. I mean, remember when Jordy Nelson went down with his torn ACL, and everybody was like, "Oh, Devontae Adams, he's going to get all those targets that Jordy Nelson didn't get," and it didn't happen like that at all. I think Trey Burton is a deep dive, and you can try and utilize him if you want. But the bottom line is that Brait is so much better an option. Look at the red zone targets that he gets from Winston, the rapport with Winston, the fact that Detroit ranks 31st against the tight end in coverage. They've given up like the 8th most fantasy points per game. I mean, it is insane to think that Burton is suddenly going to be this guy who is going to step up and be your top tight end.
You guys, Cameron Brate's must start this week.
Yeah,
I just want to be clear. He's a must start. So, Trey Burton is not. So, PPR running back Ellington or DeMarco Murray?
Ugh. I mean, you got to go DeMarco here. I mean, Ellington, I don't care if they line him up as a receiver, whatever they do with him to kind of make him happen. That makes him more of a gadget play than anything else. I can't do it.
No. Dallas or Green Bay for defense?
Ooh, I really like Dallas in this matchup here. I really do, especially because the only weapon the Giants really have is Engram. Yeah. I couldn't even remember his name. It was that bad.
I wish Orleans Darkwa had a better break. I actually think he's done some really impressive work if you look at his tape this season. But unfortunately, if they can't establish the pass, they can't establish the run. McKinnon or Williams, PPR? I'm still going Williams. I'm sorry.
Me
guys,
too.
He was the ground player of the week last week. I mean, I know that Aaron Jones, all we're seeing in our minds is that last play where Aaron Jones had a 20-yard run at a touchdown. And by the way, it was impressive. And I am excited. And he may share. Absolutely. Jamal Williams was baller. And I don't know. I still think McKinnon's in a tough matchup against the Panthers. I still think Latavius Murray is going to dominate those touches. And I think that's going to be more ground and pound so they can control the clock than actually getting yards. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's going to be more the game plan with the run game than anything else. So play Amari Cooper over Brandon Cooks? No.
No.
No. Who do I start? Dak, Mariota, or Gabbert?
Dak.
This is the life that we live right now. Gabbert's in this question, and it's not totally crazy. Gabbert going up against Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, the best, worst team in football. PPR flex, need 2. Hunt, Gio, Robbie Anderson, Jamal Williams.
I go Williams and Gio here.
Okay, I like it. We're being conservative, by the way, when we're talking about Robbie Anderson based on the hamstring and the altitude. Just a reminder for everybody here. Amari Cooper, Demaryius Thomas, or Devontae Parker, PPR. Thanks, guys. Cooper.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Say it one more time.
Amari Cooper, Demaryius Thomas, or Devontae Parker, PPR.
Ooh. I'm probably gonna say Demaryius Thomas here.
Oh, are you serious?
Parker's out for me. He's out for me completely. Yeah. But I mean, listen, Amari, he's going to be on a snap count. At least that's the last thing I saw. And I just, God, I'm just going to defer to you. You obviously think Cooper's definitely the play, and you're actually the Broncos expert over me. So talk to me about why no Demaryius Thomas. Trevor Siemian?
Yeah, they're just terrible. Yeah. I mean, when you watch, it's just like the offense just doesn't move the ball. I mean, I think there's 0 chance of him getting a touchdown. There's 0 chance of him getting over 60 yards. Now, there's a chance Amari Cooper doesn't do that either. Don't get me wrong. But with Marcus Peters out and this good matchup, I just think it's better than going up against the Jets, who are just a little scrappy team, And Devontae Parker, there's a possibility there, but I just think Stills has really overtaken that job, and I don't even think it's close. Sit one in a PPR: Gio, Drake, or Hunt.
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna say I'm sitting the Drake. I've given you guys my piece about it. I think Belichick does a lot to really stuff the run this week. I do. Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to confirm, Amari Cooper is active. That is all done, so it is true. Need a defense: Broncos, Bills, Jets, Colts.
Broncos, Bills, Jets, Colts. I guess I'm going to go Bills. Bills or Jets? Bills or Jets? Bills or Jets? I'd probably go Jets here. Could be could be one of those situations where it's like the snow kind of affects everybody in the sense that there's like some slip sliding away, and I could see. I do see Marlon Mack kind of breaking a little something wide open here. Now that Gore's got the 5th all-time on the record list, I think that we can see a little bit more Marlon Mack, and I think if he gets out in space, I think he's running by these Bills.
Yeah, I'm leaning Jets here, guys.
Okay.
Because I'm just worried that the Colts are going to be able to score on the Bills because of Nathan Peterman. And that's the only thing that gives me pause there. The Broncos, again, have allowed multiple touchdowns to 5 quarterbacks in a row. Josh McCown could be the 6th, okay? I'm worried about that. The Colts, again, they're just not a good defense, so it's hard. But, yeah, I'm going back and forth on this one, too. But I think it's between the Bills and the Jets. And it's just, do you think that the Bills' offense is going to affect that Bills' defense negatively? And it's a 50-50. Alfred Morris or Jamal Williams in a half-point PPR. We're into Morris, right?
Totally into Morris. Totally into Morris.
Do you do Jacksonville, Cincy, or Green Bay? I'm going to be real with you guys, and we need to talk about this game real quick. You guys, there is only one game out of the last 7 in which our boy, Russell Wilson, has less than 20 fantasy points in standard scoring. I'm not saying that Jacksonville's defense doesn't deserve respect. They absolutely do. But what Russell Wilson does is out of freaking control. He does it with his feet. He does it with his arm. He does everything. I mean, and he's throwing over 250 yards in almost every single game. So do I think he's going to do that? No, but I do think he's going to run. So I'm not loving Jacksonville's D for 1 week this entire season. Could they sack him a bunch? Yes, but I still think the Seahawks are going to score. Am I crazy here? I know this is very contentious. A lot of people are all over this. You have other options here. I'm not playing Cincy because of the injuries against Chicago, even though they're terrible. Green Bay, though, against the Browns, that's interesting. What are your thoughts on this Seattle-Jacksonville matchup?
I'm very hesitant about Seattle. I'm hesitant with Russell Wilson. I understand that his floor has been amazing. He's been running the ball a lot more. And I think he's going to need to run a lot in this one here. Jacksonville did a lot to fortify their run defense. And if you look at their numbers from the first, 5 games of the season, 6 games of the season to what they've done since, picking up Marcel Darius was a huge move for them up the middle there. So I think that's going to push Russell, to running on the outside. The problem for me is that he's going to need to really rely heavily on the short passing game. He's really going to need to try and take the secondary out of the equation. I think it's going to be a lot of Jimmy Graham.
Yep.
Which isn't bad. I think they're going to try and feed, Doug Baldwin out of the slot on some shorter routes here, but even so, I think that they're going to end up the Jags are going to try and the Jags are going to try and neutralize that. So. It depends on who your options are for quarterback there, but I'm not big on Wilson in this matchup here, and I'm not big, on the other way. I think that, Seattle's defense has definitely softened up a lot lately, but still friggin' Blake Bortles.
I'm still all in on Russell Wilson. And
Okay.
I know that that's like contrarian as hell this week, and nobody else believes this. I just do not see a world in which he gets less than 17 fantasy points.
It's the
I don't
Jerry
think he'll
curl
get
in the hair,
25.
isn't it?
Yeah, it helps. But I think I don't think he's going to get 25 or 30 points like he's been getting. But I think he'll get half of that, which is 17 fantasy points. And everyone else this week stinks in their matchups, or they stink and they're in a good matchup. So I mean, it's just tough stuff. All right. But would you play the Jacksonville defense or the Green Bay defense?
I would take the upside and go with the Packers defense here. I mean, listen, points allowed, a little bit of a bummer, but I mean, I don't think the Jags are going to shut out Seattle either. So you might as well take where the upside is in the turnover department, and that matters for Cleveland. They're awful with that.
Demarius Thomas or Marvin Jones PPR?
Marvin Jones.
Yeah, guys. I know Matthew Stafford's hand, but again, the Broncos, terrible. Do you like Buffalo's defense today with bad weather there? Yes, but it always depends on your other options. Pick 2, Lynch, Howard, Evans, Anderson, Diggs. We need 2. Again, Lynch, Howard, Evans, Anderson, Diggs. So obviously this is
I'm taking those running backs, baby. I'm taking those running backs. I'll tell you why. Listen, everybody's down on Jordan Howard. I get it. I totally get it. I'd be down on Jordan Howard too. Right, that's the thing. The Burfict's out. Their whole linebacking core has been decimated, and the way you stuff the run is to have your linebackers push up and help support the defensive line there. So guess what? If there are no linebackers really to push forward there and really help support that, Jordan Howard can easily break through and get to that second level in that defense there. So I love him. And like I said, Lynch against Kansas City, I think that they're going to run him hard early.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we got, do I drop Cincy defense to pick up the Colts? I mean, if that's your only other option, I don't know. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I
Nathan
would too.
Peterman's terrible. There you go.
I mean, yeah.
Winston or Stafford and a 6-point for passing touchdowns.
I'm going to go Stafford. If he's good to go, he's good to go. I think that, he's got the weapons to be able to do it. Even if Theo Riddick takes the lead out of that backfield, strong pass catcher there. Tate, Golladay, Marvin.
Yeah, they don't have any running backs, you guys. It's cool. Pick 2, Hyde, Aaron Jones, Latavius Murray, or Giovanni Bernard in a standard league.
I'm going Murray and Bernard here. I don't really know who's going to, the problem with San Francisco right now is the touches that Matt Breida got last week. I mean, that really bummed me out as a Hyde owner. And I love Carlos Hyde. I really do. And I thought that he would have gelled a lot more in this system. But Shanahan's got a hard-on for Matt Breida. And so for me, that takes him out.
Yeah, it is what it is. PPR need 2 running backs, Bernard, Morris, or McCaffrey.
Bernard and Morris. I do not like this matchup for McCaffrey. Guys, Minnesota run defense, what Minnesota does to pass-catching running backs has not been pretty.
Ugly.
The only one, I think that's taken them a little bit was Kamara, right? Was it Kamara who did that, or was it Kamara who did that to the Panthers? Either way, the Minnesota run defense, so good. So good.
Minnesota at home for the Super Bowl. Need 1 wide receiver. Diggs, Shepard, who's out. Robbie Anderson, or Hogan? We're going to go Hogan, right?
Yeah, I got to go Hogan, but just
give you some upside here, guys.
Yeah, get yourself a pivot like lined up for Monday night. See who else is available there. I don't even care if it's Amendola. Like if Amendola is the pivot, whatever. Just make sure you have that pivot available to you. Just to brace yourselves.
Guys, Patriots versus Dolphins is so beautiful. It's just hard. It's hard for us to say no. Okay, it's so gorgeous. So just putting it out there. All right, so we have like 154 questions on Twitter to get through, and we're gonna do it in 15 minutes. So we're gonna.
Do you want me to roll through inactives real quick here?
Let's do it.
All right, some key inactives to keep in mind, guys. Amir Abdullah is out for Detroit. Dwayne Washington is out for Detroit. Vernon Hargreaves out for Tampa Bay. That's going to soften up that passing attack a lot more. Green Bay against Cleveland. There is nobody here listed. Jabril Peppers still out. Bummer for him. Minnesota, Carolina. I don't see anybody major here. And let's see. Chicago against Cincy.
Their whole defense.
Yeah, their whole defense. Kirkpatrick is out. Sean Williams is out. Burfict is out. Vigil is out. Joe Mixon officially ruled out there. Nobody big on the other side there for them. Let's see. Houston, San Francisco. I do not see. Braxton Miller is inactive. Alfred Blue, thankfully, inactive there. They keep spelling his name wrong. It's B-L-E-W. It's not B-L-U-A. What's wrong with people? For the Colts against the Bills, Dante Moncrief officially inactive, as is Rashawn Melvin. Tyrod Taylor inactive here as well. Hello, Nathan Peterman. Oakland against Kansas City. David Amerson is out. That sucks for the Oakland secondary, but they sucked anyway. Nobody really on that side. And yeah, that's going to do it. Those are your key inactives for today.
That's right. And we are going under the assumption that Zach Ertz is not going to play. Okay. So let's all go with that. I think that they put out their official report later, but we've been hearing reports that he's out. So that could change, of course, but we have no reason to believe it will. So there you go. Dion Lewis or Gio? I'm going Lewis.
Gio.
Really?
You're going Lewis. I'm going Gio. Going Gio. Come on, let's rapid fire this shit. Let's go.
All right, PPR.
Sorry,
I'm sorry. I'm just saying I'm going Dion Lewis. PPR league start 2. Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Des Bryant, Rex Burkhead.
Thielen and Des.
Like it. Crabtree or Josh Gordon PPR?
Crab.
Yeah, although we like Josh Gordon this week, right?
We do.
Yeah, just not as much as Crab. Crab could be number 1 of the whole league. DT, Jarvis, or Jordan Howard, half-point PPR?
Jordan Howard.
PPR, Adams or Gordon?
Gordon.
Latavius Murray, Pirine, or Powell? Pirine.
Ooh, yeah, Pirine.
Although Latavius Murray's close, you guys. Close. Baldwin, Jamal Williams, or Gio, 0.5 PPR?
Baldwin, Gio, or Jamal Williams? I'm going Gio.
Yeah. Is Ertz playing? Probably not. If not, how is ASJ PPR? Love her at her fantasy football. Oh, thank you. We're fine with ASJ, actually. I think ASJ might be able to get it back against the Denver Broncos and give up a ton of points, right?
Here it comes, baby. Touchdown City.
Love it. I needed that from you. I love it. Evans, Jarvis, Fitz, DT need 2.
Evans, Jarvis, Fitz, and DT.
I am in love with Fitzgerald this week, you guys.
Me too.
Matchup, and he's been so good. We're not talking enough about it. I talked about it in my Trust or Dust. I think he's one of the people you can trust throughout the rest of the playoffs, you guys. Larry Fitzgerald is a must start for me rest of season. In terms of Mike Evans, Jarvis, or DT, though, which one do you pick?
I'm going with Jarvis here. I can't trust Evans, covered by Slay, and, well, Brandon hates Demaryius Thomas, guys.
I don't hate Demaryius Thomas. It's just that, unfortunately, this Denver team is just sad. We hope for him, but man, Simeon. Crabtree or Josh Gordon, PPR again. We're going Gordon.
No, I'm going Crabtree there.
Crabtree. I'm sorry. Yes, Crabtree. Sorry. Don't listen to me. Dion Lewis or Hunt for the flex?
Dion Lewis or Hunt for the flex? I'm going Hunt. Hunt. I'm hunting.
Okay.
Hunt.
I'm okay with him for the upside in this really good matchup against him, but I do like Dion Lewis, you guys. I don't know why there's so much disrespect for him. And I think, like you said, I think the Burkhead thing is going to be a little bit less now that Hogan's back. So I think it's like kind of the Dion Lewis show. So I'm intrigued. PPR, Gio or Baldwin? We're going Gio, right?
Gio, yep.
Glad to see you sound better. Thank you, you guys. My voice being gone this week. I apologize to all the people that had to listen to me, but thanks for doing so. DeMarco or McKinnon in a full point PPR?
DeMarco or McKinnon? Ooh, I'm going to go with McKinnon here.
It's close. It's real close.
It's really close. Really close.
Yeah. Watkins or Amendola PPR?
Watkins.
Yep. Pick one. Charles Clay, Trey Burton, or Brent Selleck?
Ugh. In this case here, I'm going to go with Trey Burton. This case, yes. I mean, I don't mind Clay, but Nathan Peterman here, so I'd rather just kind of go with the Trey Burton pick. Go ahead, Trey Burton.
All right. Who do I start? Dak, Mariota, or Gabbert? We said Dak.
Dak.
Yeah, never take a dome team in Buffalo. That's funny. Winston and Josh McCown. I'd go McCown.
Ooh, I'd go McCown.
Yeah. Guy's so hot right now. How sad is it? Again, 2017. So weird. PPR flex. We need two. Kareem Hunt, Giovanni Bernard, Robbie Anderson, or Jamal Williams. I think we may have entered this before. We're going Gio and Hunt? Yes.
Yes.
I want to start Kaiser over Carr in 2-quarterback league. Am I nuts? Rivers is my other quarterback.
You're nuts. Don't do it. Don't do it.
The only way I would do that is if you really need to catch up, because Derek Carr is so pedestrian. But Kaiser could have a 2-point game or he could have a 20-point game, but there's really no in between for this guy. So that's what that is. Hilton against Tre'Davious White. Not a big fan of that. You know what? I'm fine with Hilton. You guys, it's all about, I mean, whatever. It's all about your other choices. If Cooper suits up, he is suiting up. Do I play him in a PPR or do I swap in Kerwin Williams or Patterson if Cooper's out? Listen, Cooper's in. You play him over both those guys. Burton or Anderson in a full-point PPR? Anderson, right?
Anderson it is.
Great. Kerwin Williams, McKinnon, or DeMarco in a full-point PPR?
I'm actually going to go with Kerwin Williams here just for the volume that he's going to see. I don't love him, but I think the volume's going to be there.
Yeah. The other guys were just not quite sure. All of Nathan Peterman interceptions, he made the same mistake. He should have been taken. Yeah, I know. We all know. He's just, we can't even talk about that. Cooper Kupp, Funchess, or Stills, which two do I trust?
You sit Funchess. He's going to be guarded by Xavier Rhodes all game.
Yeah, wow. Xavier Rhodes. He's really, I mean, legit, you guys.
Unless he's going up against Marvin Jones, then he sucks.
That's right. This is Marvin Jones. And then one week we told you not to start Marvin Jones. It was against Xavier Rhodes. And that was the only time Xavier Rhodes was bad in his life. Yeah, I agree. He's probably sick. Nate, 2.5-point PPR. We got Melvin Gordon, Jordan Howard, Alfred Morris. Great options. I like all three of these guys this week. You make the call, Howard.
Gordon and Morris here. This is the time when I will sit Jordan Howard, but I don't love it, but that's what you got to do.
Absolutely. And again, though, just in case you have Jordan Howard out there, Cincinnati's entire defense is not playing this week, so it is intriguing as well. 1-point PPR, half-point PPR for rushing or point per rushing attempt. Collins or Howard? I do actually like this half-point rushing attempt thing that people are doing now because it does help the running backs become a little bit more relevant. So that's intriguing. We'll talk about it another time. But Collins or Howard? I think you go Howard here, but I do like Collins rest of the season. He is the guy, in my opinion, in Baltimore, right? We don't talk about him that much.
And I love the Irish step dancing as the touchdown celebration.
It should be every time, baby, every time. Anderson or Goodwin?
Well, I like Goodwin for the upside here.
Yeah, I like.
I'm assuming we're talking Robbie Anderson with the hamstring, Aqib Talib, that whole thing going on there. I'm going to go Goodwin here for the upside play.
Would you go Robbie Anderson or Demaryius Thomas?
I would go Robbie Anderson here because you hate Demaryius Thomas, and I always listen to you.
I don't hate him, but the Denver. I mean, when you watch that tape, it's ugly. You guys, that offense is so bad. All right, Abdullah playable? No, because he's out.
No.
Funchess, Cooper, if in, he is in. Tyrant Taylor Trent Taylor or Corey Coleman. Okay, so Funchess.
Ooh.
Amari Cooper, Trent Taylor, or Corey Coleman. A lot of abbreviations. Sorry, I had to decipher it.
I actually like Corey Coleman here. I do. I think everybody's so heavily focused on Josh Gordon that
Kaiser.
I think, but I think that was, listen, Kaiser and Coleman had a great relationship early on in the season here. I think that was mandated by Hugh Jackson. Yeah. And I think now he, with that play, I think everybody just assumes that it's all going to Josh Gordon here. And I think it kind of spills out a little bit more to, to Corey Coleman this week. So I like Coleman.
Great. Rivers or Big Ben?
Big Ben, baby!
All right. Full point PPR need 2. Crowder, Watkins, Aguilar, Coleman, Doxson. I'll do it again.
Watkins and Aguilar. I don't even need it. I don't even need that.
I don't even need it. Demarius Thomas, Aguilar, and Amendola.
Aguilar!
Yep, they need him, you guys. Jamal Williams, Jordan Howard, Aguilar, standard flex.
Jordan Howard.
Yeah, just higher floor. Jamal Williams, Dion Lewis, Drake, DeMarco. I need 2.
I'm sorry,
Lewis and
say
Drake,
it.
right? Jamal Williams, Lewis, Drake, DeMarco.
Oh, see, I'm going Jamal Williams and Lewis here.
Yeah, I'm down with that too.
I'm down on the Drake, baby. I'm down on the Drake.
I love it. Cooper Kupp, Goodwin, Funchess, or Stills? Which 2 should I trust? Kupp, Goodwin, Funchess, Stills.
Ooh. Ah, wow. Because that's 3 that I really like here. I'm gonna say Kupp and Goodwin, but I know you want to get Stills in there. So, who would you rather use Stills over, Kupp or Goodwin?
It doesn't say whether it's standard or PPR, so I would go with Stills over Kupp because he's Mr. 8 catches, no touchdowns. Hauschka or Butker?
Butker.
Yeah, you don't sit Butker ever. Steven Anderson or Danny Amendola? That's fine.
Anderson.
Yeah, absolutely. Prescott or Keenum?
Prescott.
Rivers or Goff?
Ooh, I'm going Goff here. I think everyone's overrating Rivers. I do.
Yeah, I think Rivers is so hot right now. It's hard to sit him. But Goff's got to make it happen. I don't know. Scary. Can I trust McCown? Yes. 1 point PPR and half point per rushing attempt. Oh, we already did this. Collins, Howard. We're going Howard, but we like Collins as well. Winston or Keenum. We're going Winston, but barely? Or are we going to go Keenum?
If you're down, like if you played against Thomas or Freeman or something like that, then you can go with Winston for the upside play there. But if you're just looking for safe floor here, I think the floor is better with Case Keenum.
Kareem Hunt, Alfred Morris, or Sterling Shepard, half point PPR.
Alfred Morris.
Need 2 wide receivers PPR. Got Josh Gordon, Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs, and Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard's out, so that's an easy one. But would you go Diggs, Evans, Gordon, 2? We need 2.
Oh, Diggs and Gordon.
Yeah, I'm worried about Mike Evans. Manning or McCown? I'm going McCown.
Me too.
Winston or Keenum, we said. Tate, Deshaun Jackson, or Drake, full point PPR. That's intriguing.
Ooh, I actually kind of like Djax this week. He was a late add to the playbook because you're going to see a lot of coverage on, Darius Slay on Evans. I think Djax is the guy who's going to kind of break free in that secondary. I like him.
Engram or Burton PPR. Engram, and it's not even close. Can I trust McCown? Yes. Shepard or Corey Coleman. Shepard is out. Tion Green or Jonathan Stewart or Forte. Oh,
all right. I'll say this. If Forte is active, go with Forte. Denver's run defense has been lit the freak up in the last 4 weeks, and I think that Forte is going to be the guy who's going to see the majority of work. Just have to check the actives there. Inactives, actually.
Absolutely. And you guys, I love this question because it was so unlike anything else. It was all people that we haven't talked about. I just love when we get stuff like that. Keenum better than Stafford this week?
No. I mean, I think he's got a higher floor than Stafford, but if you need to swing for the fences, if you need the upside, then Stafford's the guy.
Yeah. Bengals or Chiefs? Oh gosh.
I'm gonna. You're right. It's Trubisky here. But I'm gonna say Chiefs anyway. I think the Chiefs win the turnover battle here.
Yeah, I think this is just ugly. Lynch or Drake PPR? We're gonna go Lynch, right?
Lynch.
Sterling Shepard or Jamison Crowder? That's ugly. Shepard's out, but Crowder is meh. So figure it out. Full point PPR. Josh Gordon or Rex Burkhead?
Gordon.
Agreed. Evans, Crab, Cup. I need 2 in PPR. It's got to be Crab and
Cup.
All right. Goff or Carr?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Goff because Carr is pedestrian. But I think he just needs to throw the ball a lot more here. And I know that the Eagles' defense is rock solid and their secondary has improved as time has gone on. But this matchup for Gurley is disgusting, guys. We talked about this yesterday. The Eagles' run defense touchdown to a running back since week 4. Week 4.
Yeah, I know. And I just my problem here is that Goff is fantastic in good matchups for him, and he's pedestrian in bad matchups for him. And that's part of the play calling, which is smart. They take the ball out of his hands. They try to figure out other like creative ways to do things. But in this one, he has to do it because they can't run on him. So I'm with you. Standard, Anderson, Croft, or Vernon Davis for tight end?
Anderson.
Tion Green, well, I don't know what these other guys are. That's not a thing. Okay. When people say these other guys, I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, flex. Mike Evans, Robbie Anderson, McKinnon, Goodwin, or Dion Lewis?
It's just one?
PPR, yeah. I guess
Dion
you go
Lewis
Goodwin.
there.
Or Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Lewis here.
Yeah.
I love Goodwin. You know I do, but yeah. I just think that you're going to get they're
almost tied. I think that Lewis has the higher floor. Goodwin is going to give you the higher ceiling. It depends on if you're up or down after Thursday. Did you have Kamara? You know what I'm talking about. Latavius Murray or Robbie Anderson standard. We're going Murray on this one, even in a bad matchup. And would you go, Goodwin or Latavius Murray in the flex standard?
Ooh, standard, I'd go with Murray then.
Watkins or Amendola, we're going Watkins. Jones or Williams in a PPR?
Williams.
Okay. Josh Gordon or Stephon Diggs? PPR.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Josh Gordon here. Absolutely. I think he'll see the volume. I'm a little worried. I love Diggs, but he's not seeing the targets like he used to here, and I think that's a big factor.
Yeah, would you go Jordan Howard or Carlos Hyde? We're going Howard, right?
Yep.
Great. Again, Cincinnati does not have a defense this week. It's very weird. McCown or Cousins?
McCown. Injuries on the offensive line there for Washington makes me a little bit more nervous about that. I just think that McCown is the safer play here.
Yeah, and you know what, you guys, that's what their whole season's been like. Frankly, I think Kirk Cousins has gone above and beyond when you look at what he's been dealing with this season, frankly. But that's a whole nother conversation. Carr or Winston?
Carr for me.
Okay, Stafford or Winston?
Stafford.
McCaffrey, Mariota, and Jimmy the Grape. Oh, no, he's just like making a comment. Manning, Newton, or Winston, pick one.
Manning, Winston, or Newton? I'm going to go with Winston here. Yeah, Winston.
Okay. We're just going to go one more minute here. By the way, as I scroll down, we continue getting more questions. So we've got 250 unanswered questions. So we're clearly not going to get to all of them.
People, here you go. FantasyAlarm.com/chat. Because Brandon and I got to get out of here. We got other stuff that we've got to take care of. We love all the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Obviously,
we adore you.
Yeah, hit her up on Twitter at BrandonHerFFB. You can hit me up on Twitter at RotoBuzzGuy. But if you want these questions answered like that, definitely FantasyAlarm.com/chat. We got 4 guys in the chat room right now just ripping up the questions.
They're doing it like this. My last one is going to be Wentz or Rivers.
Oh, Carson Wentz, baby. I love Carson. How do you sit Carson Wentz?
How do you sit Rivers? He's so hot right now.
Well, I don't care what he looks like. I'm saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, he is not. No, the bolo tie and everything. That's not my jam. No.
Adam Thielen was getting super pissed. I just got a text from Adam Thielen that just says WTF Brandon.
I know.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay, so here's the deal, you guys. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I love that everyone was like trying to get them in at the last minute. If you guys have questions, though, we start at 11. And the earlier the questions, I start scrolling through. So towards the end, it's really hard to get to all of them. But as Howard just said, go to fantasyalarm.com. We have a chat room where they are just answering questions. Boom, 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 boom. There's no way for me to get these questions to the chat room. So you're going to have to gather yourself. But I promise you, they're amazing. We're all on the same page. They're going to get to all your questions. I hope that you guys were able to at least glean how we feel about all these matchups this week. I think we went through pretty much at least every player, or at least one player on every single one of these matchups, and you have a pretty good idea of how we feel. And again, you can follow Howard on Twitter at RotoBuzzGuy. He's fantastic at Twitter, like the best. And you can follow me at BrandonHerFFB. And you can get a free month of Playbook Pro where you can get everyone's opinions, all the articles, all the tools, if you enter the promo code below, week 14, when you go to fantasyalarm.com. So make sure to do that. Howard, am I missing anything? Is there anything else to say about week 14 before we get out of here?
You guys got like an hour to get into this Fanball double up. Go to fanball.com. Scroll down. It's a Fantasy Alarm $5 double up. There's still a couple of entries left in there. Come take my money. I put in some whacked out lineups just for shits and giggles, guys. Just for shits and giggles. So come take my money. It's all yours for free.
That's right. And I'm about ready to get my entries in there too. So come take my money. Or you can give me money. I'd rather you give me money, but like, let's try. Let's see who wins.
Take my money. Take it.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We adore you. Have a wonderful week 14. I hope you win all your playoffs or get into the playoffs or do whatever you do. So, and go kill it in DFS too. Go make your money. Go make your money.
There you go.
Oh, thanks so much, everyone. Happy week 14. Have a good day. Bye.
See you later.